We spent the past year traveling around Europe, and we've tested out what kind of lifestyle you can buy with $2,500.
We're going to take you through 5 popular European cities and break down exactly what you can get for $2,500 a month. We're going to start with a place where that amount doesn't go too far, but we're ending in a city where you can have a really nice lifestyle. In fact, we weren't even able to spend the whole $2,500 in that city.
But first, welcome back. And if you're new around here, I'm Jillian and this is Stephanie. We retired early to travel full time. And if you're looking for more adventure in your life, you can subscribe for a new video every Sunday.
When we first started traveling Europe in 2019, we really weren't sure how far a budget of $2,500 a month would take us. We're slow travelers, so we typically spend a month or 2 in each city. And we always stay in a furnished apartment so that we can really just settle in and make every place feel like home.
In this video, we're going to take you on a trip around Europe. We'll be showing you what $2,500 buys in each location. And we're starting with Malta.
The island of Malta is one of the sunniest places in Europe, which makes sense because it's right in the middle of the Mediterranean, just below Italy.
Malta has so much going for it, the natural beauty, the historic charm, but it's also known for being really expensive. And we've discovered that $2,500 a month doesn't go that far.
It sure doesn't. So, of course, it all depends on what kind of apartment you get. Ultimately, the cost of accommodation in any city has the biggest impact on how far your budget will go. For our month in Malta, we splurged and got a really nice apartment in a really nice location. It was a beautiful loft space, just steps to the waterfront. It was very tasteful with tons of natural light and all the amenities we look for. A well-equipped kitchen, a washing machine, very comfortable bed.
But at $1,800 for our month-long stay, this didn't leave a lot of room in the budget for the fun stuff like dining out and entertainment. Once you paid for groceries, there's really not much left.
So for the one and only time in our entire journey so far, we ended up spending closer to $3,000. This included dining out on a weekly basis, getting a few cab rides, and renting a car to go to the island of Gozo for the day.
And of course, we did a lot of free or cheap stuff, like getting lost in the streets of Vleda, which is the capital of Malta, or taking a bus to spend the day hiking along the coast.
If you really want to stick to that $2,500 in Malta, you'll need to stay in a less prime location or maybe cut back on the dining out and entertainment. Keep in mind, we pay tourist prices for our accommodation. So if you're staying in Malta long term, an unfurnished apartment is going to cost you a lot less.
For the complete breakdown of how much we spend in Malta and all our other locations, you can check out our entire cost of living series. And if you're looking to get more value for your $2,500 spend, you can consider our next destination, which is Florence, Italy.
So why did we pick Florence? Well, that is easy. Florence has beautiful architecture, great food, great museums to explore, and it's an amazing jumping off point to discover the rest of Tuscany.
Florence is generally considered to be another expensive location, but it doesn't have to be. We didn't have any trouble working within our $2,500 budget, and here's what we got for it.
First up, we landed a traditional apartment in a central location right by the Arno River. So this apartment had an old-fashioned feel to it and really great views of the neighborhood. It was a nice apartment, but it wasn't luxurious by any stretch. In fact, it lacked some of the amenities that we really prefer to have, like a washing machine.
This cost us $1,300, leaving a good amount of room for the other things that you're really gonna want when you visit Florence. We were able to have a meal out once a week, including the famous Florentine steak. Plus, we had lots and lots of gelato. And we visited a couple of pricey attractions like the Uffizi Museum and the Popoli Gardens.
Of course, we also enjoyed a lot of free or really cheap things while we were there, like doing free audio tours of the major sites or taking the bus to visit the little town of Fiesole. The third stop on our tour of Europe, Athens, Greece. So Athens is often a place where people pass through on their way to the islands, but it's actually a great destination in its own right. There are thousands of years of history everywhere you look, with plenty of bucket list sites. And it's a very sophisticated city, so it has lots of great dining and great shopping. We actually paid the same for our apartment in Athens as we did in Florence, but what we got was just so much more. It was a penthouse apartment right in the center of the city. It was spacious and stylish with a wraparound terrace. It was a real tourist price at $1,300. You can definitely get something cheaper if you're there long term. Even paying that price for accommodations, we had plenty left over in our budget for enjoying Athens. And we totally splurged on dining out. We had lots of grilled meat, seafood, spanakopita, spit roasted lamb, delicious kebabs, and even a few desserts. We also went to all the major sites, of course, the Acropolis, also the Acropolis Museum, which is a spectacular building, and even the National Archaeological Museum. And we did a lot of stuff for free, like watching the sunrise over the Acropolis, wandering through Plaka and the ancient Agora, and touring around the local street art. So as you can probably tell, a budget of $2,500 goes pretty far in Athens, but we got even more value in our next destination, Split, Croatia.
Split is the perfect location if you're looking for lots of sunshine, lots of beaches, and a really charming old town. This is a Mediterranean experience that is way more affordable than what you can get in Malta. We were able to get an apartment in a great location just minutes away from Split's 4 main attractions: the beach, the old town, the green market, and the waterfront promenade. Our apartment was modern with all the amenities: a well-equipped kitchen, dishwasher, washing machine, and a really comfortable living room. For this, we paid $1,100, which left a lot more room for being tourists. We dined out a few times a week. Sometimes it was a nice lunch out, other times it was a quick sandwich on the go. And let's not forget our afternoons sipping coffees on the Riva Promenade. The area where we really splurged was entertainment. We had a paid tour of Split's historic center and a visit to the Mestrovic Gallery, which is Croatia's most famous sculptor. We were also able to rent a car a couple of times to explore beyond Split. We spent a day hiking through Krka National Park, we wandered through the ancient ruins at Salona, and got an amazing view of the whole region from Klis Fortress. All this fit very nicely into the $2,500.
So we've just taken you through 4 cities in Europe and shown you what kind of lifestyle you can buy for $2,500 a month. Our last destination on this tour is a city where you can live very, very well and actually come in below budget.
It's a city where accommodations can be very reasonably priced, especially if you're staying long term. You can also eat out for basically every meal, take cabs to get around, and have more than enough left over to see all the major sites.
So anyone who's been following our channel for a while can probably guess which city we're talking about. We mention it all the time. It's Istanbul, Turkey.
We just love Istanbul. We've been there twice and keep going back for the food and the people. Plus, there's all that history and culture. Istanbul has enough to keep you busy for months.
It's possible to pay as little as you want for your accommodations in Istanbul. So in general, Turkey is a very affordable, low cost of living country where your travel dollar can go really far. But a caveat here, since we're staying short term, we usually do get stuck with those tourist prices.
During our first visit, we had a bohemian apartment with lots of windows in the Beyoğlu area. This one cost us $1,000. But on our last visit, we did splurge a little and got a very stylish studio apartment close to the main pedestrian area of Istiklal. It had a clean, modern design and a well-equipped kitchen and this great view over the neighborhood. For this, we paid almost $1,300, which is definitely on the pricey side for Istanbul.
Very pricey. But everything else in Istanbul is so inexpensive that we still had plenty of room left in our budget. For starters, we could eat out as much as we wanted, and we took this as an opportunity to have our fill of amazing Turkish food.
We sure did. We had lots of grilled kebabs with all the fixings. Of course, borek, which is a pastry filled with cheese or meat. We had tasty little fried fish, desserts like kunafe, which somehow combines both cheese and syrup. And of course, many leisurely Turkish breakfasts with cheese, olive spreads, and lots of other delicious things.
We did a walking tour of the Sultanahmet area, which is the location of so many of Istanbul's well-known sites. We visited the Blue Mosque, the Topkapi Palace, the Dolmabahce Palace, and lots more. And we did a boat tour of the Bosphorus.
And we still couldn't spend the whole $2,500. That makes Istanbul the lowest cost and the best value destination on this whole list.
So if you want to know exactly how much we spent in each of these locations that we mentioned, you can check out our entire cost of living series right here.